Hello, good evening, and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation live, guys. It is time to reflect on a debacle. It's time to reflect, obviously, on where we are as a club. It's time to reflect on the fact that he's still here. It's time to sort of talk about next steps. It's time to talk about what's going to happen going forward. I'd love to sit here tonight, and I'd love to be able to bring you positive news. I'd love to be able to bring you some good news. I'd love to be able to say to you, everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be sorted. You don't need to panic. Everything's fine. I would love to be able to sit here and I'd love to be able to talk about a victory. I'd love to be able to talk about good news, but it's so hard at this moment in time, isn't it, to talk about anything other than negative stuff around Rangers. And it's sad. It's sad. I mean, look, this club is a great club. This is one of the greatest clubs in world football. It is one of the biggest clubs in world football. It is worldwide, universally recognized across the globe as one of the biggest clubs in the world. But at this moment in time, we are fast becoming one of the biggest laughing stocks in the whole world, football world. And it's concerning. It's very concerning. And as much as Clement is a problem, and Clement is a major problem, we'll talk about that tonight, the club is rotten from top to bottom. There is very little positive around this club at this moment in time. We have a board that doesn't work. We have a board that is incapable of making decisions. We have a board that is incapable of making timely appointments. We have no CEO, no director of football. We have no chairman. We have an interim academy director who is an absolute joke. We have a manager who can't motivate the team. We have a £17 million debt, which is probably going to grow. It's all very, very black at this moment in time, isn't it? Derek says, I called it when he Kathy Chatdoll speak, celebrated a 3-3 draw with Celtic, the moral victory, of course. Derek says Aberdeen will win the league, then Celtic. It's the Leicester surprise. Bet on it. Hello, George. Yes, the Leicester City miracle, maybe. I don't care anymore, to be honest. Rangers are ranked top to bottom. Only good thing is the fans. Watch the stands of Ibrox empty quicker than a fire drill. I'll be honest with you, litigation. I think the only way that anything will get done is when fans start to vote with their feet. Once fans start voting with their feet and staying out of the stadium, staying away from the stadium and hitting the board where it actually truly hurts them in their pockets, that's when things will get done. And that's the only time that things will get done. Victor says, been saying for months now, get Tav and the manager out. No, he hasn't, proper collector. Evening, Stuart. How are you doing? Was one of the biggest, now mediocre. I know Stevie G been sacked. Gerrard's just been sacked. What's the chance of Kim and King coming back? Clement's the scapegoat. A contract till 2028. The board's lost it, thinking they can predict the future. We'll be lucky to finish third. I'll be honest, I can't see Gerrard coming back at this moment in time. It's not something I would be against by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think it's a bad move. I think had we invested in the team post 55, I honestly believed he would have stayed. I genuinely believe he would have stayed. Good evening, Stephen. He would have done. Scott says, not surprised that last night's results struggled both on Sunday and Hibs at home. Look, it's not more of a gap to the top, to be honest. I've got to say, I fully agree there. There's major issues, but the easiest problem to solve should be our squad, our facilities coping with other SPFL sides that don't have what we have. 3 managers playing 4-2-3-1 with no SPFL success. Clement doesn't have the guts to drop Tavernier, who is proving week in, week out. If he did, it would send a clear message to the rest of them. I agree on that one. I've got to say, I genuinely look at that situation with Tavernier, and to me, it sends the wrong message to the whole team. It sends a message that, you know what, some people, it doesn't matter how shit you play or how bad you play or what sort of negative attitude you have or how you check out or whatever you do. It genuinely doesn't matter because you are James Tavernier. And James Tavernier stank Pittodrie out last night. James Tavernier even has stank Rangers out all season. Yet he gets picked week in, week out, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I've got to say, there's a whole host of problems. I don't think James Tavernier is the biggest problem, but James Tavernier is certainly part of the problem. He certainly is absolutely part of the problem. So at the end of the day, I genuinely believe that, you know, he does need to be dropped. Now, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. I want to talk about this team. I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about put a little bit of misconceptions, I would say, to one side, and try and deal with a few issues, obviously, around the club at this moment in time. Look, yes, absolutely. Right, look, last night's performance was not acceptable. I mean, it was absolutely dreadful, and it was absolutely pathetic. It really, really, genuinely was absolutely dreadful. It just was not good enough in the slightest. But Clement comes out post-match, and I don't know if anyone's seen his post-match comments. Did you hear anyone see his post-match comments? Clement said, and I quote, that was the best performance he's seen this season, one of the best performances he's seen this season, or some combination of. It should have been a draw. They were no way better than us, etc., etc. I genuinely get to the point where, where I don't understand where he's coming from. I agree with Pete Curry here. I'm fed up hearing excuses after every game. Yeah. At the end of the day, he just talks crap. He talks utter crap. I mean, to come out after last night's performance, where we were, by common consent, across the entire fan media, across the entire of the fan base, absolutely dreadful. To come out and say that was one of our best performances this season, I think is just absolutely ludicrous. And to trot out the same old shit that he says week in, week out, that, it's going to take time. It's going to take time because we need time to settle in. We need time for the players to settle. There's been a lot of change. The players need time. Well, Aberdeen have changed a lot of players this season. They've lost their best player in Bojan Miovski, yet Jimmy Thielen has got a style, he's got a shape, he's got a formation, they've got heart, they've got guts, they've got fight. They show all those things. It seems that it's only Rangers where Clement believes that players take 6 months to settle in, and that this is a long-term thing. And this is I don't understand how he can honestly believe that. When he looks around the league and he looks at other teams who've brought in lots of players, not only in Scotland but across the whole of Europe, and he sees, other managers embedding styles, embedding ways of playing. I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand where he's coming from on this one. Blair Main says, players not prepared to run through brick walls for Clement. They don't believe in the system. Can't play one up if you can't hold the ball up. Exactly. Dessers cannot hold the ball up. 100%. Evening, CJ. Rangers are a shit show. It's been the same since the Europa League final. I mean, that's one thing, Sharpie, I've got to say. It just seems incredible to me that, that a couple of years ago, this team was in a Europa League final. I mean, that's the second biggest competition in European football behind the Champions League. And we were there. We were in a Champions League. We were in a Europa League final. And we came within penalty kicks of actually winning the Europa League. Now we are an absolute shambles. We are an absolute joke of a club at this moment in time. It's awful. It's awful. Does he actually believe what he's saying? Stevie, I think he does. I honestly think he does believe what he's saying. He was definitely watching a different game to me. He was to me too. Clement's standards of expectation are either not near good enough or he's deluded, seeing things we don't. At the end of the game last night, we had 3 right backs on. Says, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I genuinely don't get that, Stuart. I don't get it. We've been cursed. I'm not joking. No good. Yeah, maybe Sharpie. Maybe we pissed off a gypsy in a previous life. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Scott. That's one point that that we've got to put into perspective. This argument that we've had. Players need time. Players need time. Players need time. Players need time. There was 8 players in that squad last night that played last season. So the team gelling argument didn't work last night because at the end of the day, like I said, there was 8 players on that park who were here last season. I don't understand it. Outside of the old firm, most clubs only have players on a maximum 2-year contract, so they don't have time to settle in. Team selection was all wrong again. Agree on that one, Stevie. Phil must be on the shrooms before the games. I think he must be. Get Steve Davidson into caretaker at the end of the season. Barry says, I still say you'd won the Europa League if Morelos was fit. No question. I probably would have done, mate. Probably would have done if Morelos had been fit or, Kemar Roof had been fully fit. I don't know. We could have done. We could have done. Honestly, yeah, I believe you on that one. But look, we're 2 years down the line from that now, and it's an absolute shit show. It is an absolute shit show. And I don't know. I don't know the direction this man's taking it. Now, one thing I want want to kind of deal with. You know, is this argument that's been put about he needs more time, because there's no point continually sacking managers. There's no point continually sacking managers. Yes, there is no point to continually sacking managers. I get that. 100% get that, right? I understand that argument. And yes, to some degree, it's very accurate. You don't get anywhere. You become Chelsea or Watford if you just keep sacking managers. Now, people say it's not his fault. He hasn't got the players. He hasn't got the squad. He hasn't got the team. He hasn't been fully backed. He hasn't got this. He hasn't got that. But that's all very well and good. If you could see something on the field that resembled a style of play or a shape or a set of tactics that worked, or substitutions that changed the game. Now, look, even if we were getting beat week in, week out, if you could see them playing to a shape, playing to a style, playing to a set of ideas, you know, playing a style of football, even if it was getting beat week in, week out, you could say, right, well, he's making progress. And once he gets his players in, all the players that he wants, then we'll actually see the best possible Rangers team. But what we're seeing is arguably as bad as, if not worse, than when Michael Beale was here. There is no shape. There is no style to the play. There is so much sideways, backwards and negative football. It's incredible. It just genuinely is awful. It genuinely is a horrible style of play. It doesn't work. It's not effective. He is playing square pegs in round holes. The shape of the team doesn't work. I don't understand where he's seeing what he's seeing. And there is no progress. Now, if there was progress, I would say, yeah, don't sack him, back him, give him another window, let him bring some more players in, give him summer next year as well, bring some more players in, and then we go again next season. But I haven't seen, and sitting as someone who's got coaching badges, who's coached, I don't see a style. I don't see progress. I don't see forward movement. I don't see a positive style of play. I don't see anything positive from this Rangers team. Now, this might not be a popular argument, but I'll be honest with you. If you gave that team to any half-decent coach, right? If you gave that team to Jimmy Thielin, or you gave that team to Derek McInnes, or you gave that team to Davy Martindale even, I'll tell you something, they'd be hard to beat. They would definitely finish second, and they'd probably push Celtic a lot closer than we are doing at this moment in time. Genuinely. If that team was on the field and it was properly coached and it was properly organised and it played to a style and it played quickly, it played aggressive attacking football, I honestly believe that team there is good enough to finish at least second and to push Celtic very close this season. Probably not good enough to beat Celtic yet, but still would achieve a lot more than it's achieving. Right? Now, you look at those players there. Butland has not suddenly become a shit goalkeeper overnight for no reason. He was thrown under the bus by Clement. I honestly believe that has affected him big time. Cass is a good right back, better than Tav. Suter and Balogun, I love Big Leon. You know I love Big Leon. Ridvan is a top quality left back. We know that. Barron and Raskin, actually, do you know what? I'm going to go for a positive now. I actually thought Raskin was good last night. I thought Raskin worked hard. I thought he got stuck in. Yes, he made mistakes. He wasn't perfect. But I think Raskin's showing real positive. I think Barron and Raskin, or Raskin, whatever you want to call him, are quality there. Tierney, Bayrami in the 10 role. Please stop playing him on the left wing. It doesn't work. It's Fabio Silva 2.0. It's not going to work. Play players in their positions. He's a 10. Put Hjefte on the left wing. He's got speed. The one thing this team lacks is speed, is the aggression to get up the field. And last night, that team was one-paced, absolutely one-paced. So put Hjefte as the left winger and Danilo at top. Danilo, I know he's had a lot of injuries. If he can stay fit, he's better than Dessers. Put that team out and give it to a decent coach. I guarantee you would see a style of play. You'd see a better style of play and a more aggressive style of play, right? Flying Scotsman says, McInnes, please. None of those managers you mentioned would do anything. We need better than those three. It might work in the interim, just not long term. That's what I'm talking about, Flying Scotsman. I'm not talking about long term. I'm talking about short term. If you gave those players short term to any of those managers that I mentioned, they would get more of a tune out of them. They'd organise them. They'd coach them. They'd put them in there to be successful. More than Clement's done. Clement, to me, is a rubbish coach. The guy cannot coach. He cannot coach because nothing you see on a football field shows you he can coach, because he doesn't organise the team. There is no style. There is no shape to the play. There is no press. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. You know, there's a moment in that game yesterday, I can't remember when it was, but the ball goes up to Dessers and there's nobody breaking beyond him. There's nobody in behind him. There's nobody supporting him. There's nobody around him. There's just no idea of what you should do in that situation. Now, a properly coached team would know how to go through that and how to break down a team. He is not a coach. He is not good enough. He is not good enough. Clement's a ticking time bomb. It's when, in my opinion, he's very average and a limited manager end of, which is what I think Monaco fans told us. If he spoke sense and was honest in the presses, he'd get more time from the fans. I think that you're right there, CJ. How many managers has Tav seen out? An awful lot. Yeah, absolutely. You can't even see the team trying things differently. 100%. 100%. Dessers isn't even bothered. Tav looks like he doesn't want to be here. I don't think they're giving anywhere near 100% as a team. There's a total disconnection between them and the manager. I agree. There's nothing on that pitch that's showing me that those players want to fight for that manager. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. Yes, he is Sharpie. He is still at the club. We've got a reasonably good squad with some potential with a lot of players. Clement is training the football. Absolutely. I don't get. Look, 2 goals, we're lost, we're howling, no creation midfield, powder puff up front. We are at the moment. Look, I'm going to say something controversial here, right? I honestly don't think that our players, there isn't any point in getting rid of Clement until the boardroom is sorted. Without a CEO that backs the manager, it will be the same 12 or 14 months down the line. I disagree wholeheartedly on that one. I'd one ball. If you could see anything different, if you could see progress on the pitch, I would say yes, keep Clement. I honestly don't believe that we should appoint. Right, one of the things I am going to say is this. Maybe this answers your point, Odd One Ball. I don't think we should appoint a permanent manager. If Clement was to be sacked today, tomorrow, whenever, I don't think we should appoint a permanent manager yet. We should wait till the summer to go and get a permanent manager, okay? I honestly believe that if we sack Clement now, we need to go for someone in the interim, someone to take this team through to the end of the season. You know, realistically, the season's done. Look, we're not going to win the league. We're 9 points behind Celtic. I can't see Celtic losing 4 times between now and the end of the season. I can see Aberdeen slipping up, but I can't see Celtic, okay? So one of the things I am saying is let's get rid of Clement now. Let's get in an interim manager. Then let's sort the boardroom out, get a new CEO in, get a new chairman in, get a new director of football in. And then in the summer, those people, the new chairman, the new CEO, the new director of football, they sit down and they look at the club, they look at what we need to do, they look at the best manager to come in and work with the players we've got, and we work from that aspect. For me, sacking Clement now and appointing Muscat or Lampard or going and getting Will Still or Francesco Farioli or someone like that is a waste of time. It's a waste of time because nothing will happen. We'll have a new manager bounce, everything will be great. We'll come to the summer. He'll get some more players in, and then we'll go back to being how we were before. So, look, at the end of the day, we do need to get. If you're saying there's no point in getting rid of Clement, I'm sorry, give your head a wobble because he has to go now. He has to go now. David Baird says, get Duncan Ferguson in to kick some ass. Stuart says, who even sacked Clement? The whole club is a mess. I suppose it would fall on Gilligan, wouldn't it? Would be Gilligan. Davis in the interim, says Caleb. We're going to come to that in a minute. If Rangers were a person, they'd be James Arthur, irrelevant, and of course, alcohol poisoning. Who's going to appoint a manager, even interim? Who, though, as interim? We're going to get to that, Scott. Neil Warnock says, trying Scotsman. I can't stand this team manager and his softly ego messaging over to the players. If they play crap, call them out for it. If they can't handle criticism, Scottish football isn't for you. Bring in Big Dunk. Absolutely agree, Owen. I think we need a CEO in place because we can't afford to bring one in. We do need a CEO. Absolutely. We absolutely need a CEO. 100%. Yeah, and the board is a massive problem, a huge problem. Sharpie, no thanks. Not a chance. Clement wins in Europe if the league is a write-off. That's what's the point. No, Clement wins in Europe, does he? Does he really? Does he really? Against good teams, Clement wins in Europe, does he? Odd one board. We've played 3 Europa League games, okay? 3. We've beaten a shit Malmo, a shit FCSB, and we lost to Lyon, who are a good team. And next week we play Olympiacos in Piraeus, and they will absolutely fucking wreck us. We play Man United, we play Nice, we play Tottenham, all of whom will absolutely fucking wreck us. So to say he wins in Europe is an absolutely ridiculous argument. A ridiculous argument. It's not even an argument, really. You know, it's not even an argument. It's not even an argument. Tab saying off another thing. David Moyes standing by the phone. What happened v Lyon? We got absolutely smashed, didn't we? I think to say that he wins in Europe is just an absolute joke. An absolute joke. We don't win it. He doesn't win in Europe. That's the thing. When we play against a decent team, Benfica, we lose. Right. Some of these names are possible. These are guys that I would have on an interim till the end of the season, right? Barry Ferguson, Kevin Thompson, David Moyes, Neil Warnock, Stephen Davis, Sam Allardyce even. I mean, Sam Allardyce is another one. Why not bring in somebody on a temporary basis, okay? And yet you can say Barry Ferguson would be an awful shout as manager. Is an interim manager. That's all I want him here for. I don't want him here long term. I don't think there's any point making, agreed, not an argument. We almost recorded our worst home record on a history in Europe if we didn't beat FCSB. And FCSB was shit. They were one of the worst teams I've seen at Ibrox for a long, long time. Look, we should, under no circumstances, should we be appointing a new season, a new manager now. Not until the new season. Not until the new season. Okay. There's literally no point. Literally no point. Okay. We should be looking at appointing someone like one of these guys or Sam Allardyce on an interim basis till the end of the season to see us through this season. That's what we should be doing. Not looking to go and make some sort of appointment, not going to, go and look at some ridiculous manager from somewhere else, Kevin Muscat, Derek McInnes, Will Still, Kjetil Knutsen from Bodo Glimt. That shouldn't even be thought of at this point. It should not even be thought of at this point, okay? CJNI says, in regards to player trading model, do the board realise it works best when you can showcase player skills in their actual position and also being successful? Brilliant. I can't argue with any of those. Moyes said he would never put his family through the abuse of being an old firm manager. Throwing my top off last night and discussed boycott the rest of the season. Those names are scary. What's Ferguson, Davis, Thompson done to justify intern? Yes, they're Rangers men. Look, all I'm looking at is just someone to get us through to the end of the season. Okay. That's all we need. That's all we need. Because look, what is the point? What genuine? Yeah, okay, Jim. Me and CJ Novo. I'll get in touch with CJ. One of the managers have been at a club the size of Rangers manager, apart from Big Sam, pimp out the clubs, asked the highest bidder, no thanks. Look, mate. Look, I don't understand why you would actually go and appoint anyone at this point in the season, because they cannot do anything. There is nothing you can do at this point in the season. There is literally no point to bringing in a new manager at this point in the season and saying to him, right, there's your team. Because, look, if we were Manchester United and we had fuckloads of money, then yes, I agree. Go out and get a manager, then give him a load of money in January and let him go and spend, okay? Now, let me just use that example, okay? Let me just use that example. Manchester United have just sacked Erik ten Hag, okay? Who was awful. The Manchester United squad is a decent squad. Okay, they've got players like Fernandes and Rashford and Højlund and Agate and De Ligt and Martinez and they've got some good footballers there. Mazraoui, they've got some good footballers. Okay, now they've got Ineos as owners who are billionaires, right? They've just appointed Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim will take over in the international break, right? In January, they will splash the cash. In January, they will go and spend to make a Champions League charge to get them in the Champions League, right? That's what they'll do. And it works because Amorim can go and spend money. He can bring in Ignacio. He can go bring in Gyökeres. He can bring in X, Y, and Z, okay? and improve their squad. One thing we can't do as a club, is go out and spend money because we haven't got any money. Okay, so there's no point us getting a new manager now, bringing him in, and then in January going, oh, look, I'm really sorry, but there is no money. You're just going to have to cope with this till the end of the season. Get on with it. There's no point. Absolutely no point. 100% no point. Promote Joe Potter. I'd be in favour of that. Billy Davis, he would do Billy Davis, another one until the end of the season. Thomas Frank, he'll come for a fish. I don't think so, mate. Yeah, okay, yeah, well, but that's Alloa. They're shit. Barry would drill it into them what it means to play for Rangers. Harry Potter. Remember, Stephen Davis was in charge for a while, and these players threw him under the bus as well. They're pathetic. Yeah, Barry Ferguson might have a great record, but he really cares about the club. That's needed more than anything right now. This is all I'm talking about. Look, we cannot. I don't think we can win anything this season. I'm being honest with you. I would love to sit here and be really, really positive with you and say we're going to win the cups, we're going to win this, we're going to do well in the Europa, whatever. I'd love to do that, but I can't because I can't see Clement getting anything out of this team. And like I said, because we haven't got a boatload of money to throw at them come January, we're £17 million in debt. We owe John Bennett over £11 million, right? We cannot go and throw money at the January transfer window. In January, we will sign free transfers and get loans. That will be it. Now, what attractive option is that to a manager at this stage who is either under contract at another club where most of the decent managers are? Okay, so most of the good managers that we're mentioning, okay, like Jimmy Thielen, like Derek McInnes, like those people are absolutely 100%, are not available, and they're not going to come because there's nothing we could do. There's nothing we can do to attract those players. There's nothing we can do to bring in players for them. We're not an attractive proposition anymore. We're just not. So until the end of the season, when we can take stock of things, when we can reshape the club, when we can bring in perhaps new investment, we can appoint a CEO, sort the club out, properly sort the club out, which is hard to do mid-season. Appointing a permanent manager at this point would be absolutely pointless. It would absolutely be pointless, okay? A caretaker manager is the only way forward. Bring in some of the kids. Get some of the kids involved. Get Rice involved, Lovelace involved. Bring through some of the youngsters. Let's see if they're any good. Look, let's say we do that. Let's say we have an awful season, right? Let's say we have an awful season. Let's say we have a season where we don't do well and we finish, say, 4th or 5th, right? Because we just throw kids in there, right? Well, what does it matter? Are we going to win the league now? Are we going to win anything now? No, we're not. So we might as well use this period, get someone in the interim, get rid of Clement, bring in a new CEO, bring in a new chairman, bring in a new director of football. They then get a chance to assess the squad, assess the club, and then in the summer, they can then come up with a plan for appointing a new manager, reshaping the squad, reshaping the club, and moving the club forward. So that for me is the way forward. You're writing off the season on one hand and then say they're skinned, yet you want to waste 4 or 6 million on sacking Clement. What is the point? Wait till the summer, see how it goes. We can't afford not to sack Clement on one ball. If Clement stays to the end of the season, it is going to get even worse. I guarantee you that. I don't understand your philosophy. I'll be honest with you, Odd One Ball. I think you're absolutely talking utter shite. The one thing that come out of this is that we need to play youth. There's very little downside to that. If not now, then when? It's a no-win situation. We sack him. There's no money for players for the next few windows. We'll keep him 4th and 5th, I reckon. Some of the B team would run through walls for this club, I reckon. Absolutely. This is the thing. We could bring in someone like Neil Warnock to the end of the season, or bring in Barry Ferguson or Kevin Thompson. Say to them, right, use the youngsters, get the youngsters involved, and we could actually do quite well, finish top 2. That is the situation. Look, If we get rid of Clemons, Tav will still be here and be our captain. That's a massive problem. We've got to get rid of Tav. Tav has got to go. Yeah, I agree. The Park family are destroying this club, 100%. You don't need to sack Clemon. You put him on garden leave, tell him not to attend the office. Guaranteed he resigns within a couple of months. No payoff. John says, Gerard. Yeah, I'd love to see Gerard. Yeah, Stevie G. Get Stevie G on a temporary basis. I don't care. Just get someone in. Do something. We didn't see this coming pre-season. Everyone said they'd be fighting for third, albeit we thought Hearts would be second. Yeah, we are in a dreadful state. Absolutely dreadful state. Don't think it's worth sacking Clement right now. I disagree on that one. 100% disagree on that one. The guy is destroying the club. The guy is absolutely destroying this club from... He really is. Matt, how you doing, buddy? We need to get to Europa, or 17 million we paid back from the Europa League this season. We won't see it reinvested. How it works, lenders pay back. Yeah, we've got to get European football. Agree. Todux, I think he would, because I think what he'd do is he'd actually have an idea of what he was doing, and he'd look at the club and he'd look at who was succeeding. Steven Gerrard is a winner. Read his autobiography. Okay, read his autobiography. Stevie G is a winner. Okay, read his autobiography. He did, Valdo. I agree with that one. Barcelona had to bring in a lot of their young players. It hasn't done them any harm. I'm not comparing them to us. But yeah, agreed. Keep Kevin the Mumbler Thompson away, please. There is the argument that it's not fair to a caretaker or new manager have to face Tottenham or even United. Get Koisty in. It'll cost us to sack him, but I want him to go as well. Yeah, it will cost us, but at the end of the day, he's got to go. I honestly believe. You don't need to pay him off. That's a great argument. We could try it. Fans will start to boycott games if PC is still in charge, leading to the lost revenue on match days between hospitality shirts and other merch. Agreed. 100% agreed on that one. I agree with this point. Graham Brown, great point. If we backed Gerrard post 55, we wouldn't be in this position now. Okay, we wouldn't be in a position where we'd be struggling. Okay, we would have, I think, gone on to be very successful. I honestly believe that he would have actually got some success. Odd One Boar says Stevie G has one league as manager. Get real. Clement has more. Clement has won the Belgian league. Odd One Boar. And when he was at Bruges and he was at Genk, do you know who his assistant manager was? A guy called Johan van Rumst. Right, he is not here. Clement, he didn't have him at Monaco either. Clement had him at Genk, he won the league. Kenham had him at Bruges, he won the league. Didn't have him at Monaco, got sacked. Didn't have him at Rangers, struggles. Is it another Brian Clough, Peter Taylor situation? Brian Clough went to Leeds without Peter Taylor and was a disaster. Brian Clough then went to Forest, had Peter Taylor back, and was a massive success. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together here and getting 5, maybe. I don't know. The other argument is that Stevie G has won the league in Scotland and knows how to win the league in Scotland. Absolutely. Can fans refuse Clement and Tav into Ibrox as fans built it brick by brick, seat by seat? I love the argument. He's been sacked apparently, Airwolf. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, it frustrates me too. No worries, mate. We need to bring back Gio, giving me well, Gio's happy at Besiktas. There's no way that he's going to come back. Yeah, I agree with that point as well. We have been treating I don't understand why we don't give youth a chance, why we don't play youth players. I don't understand that in the slightest. I really, really don't. Yeah, Clement was the pilot, not the navigator. Yeah, this is the argument. You look at a lot of great managers and you look at their coaching staffs. Let's take, right, I'm going to use an example. And I know this is not a great example. I know that he's a guy who's hated here, right? Martin O'Neill. When he had John Robertson as his assistant manager, he was successful. He went to Sunderland. He didn't have John Robertson as assistant manager. He nearly got them relegated. He got sacked, right? So there you go. Okay, perhaps I'm wrong on that one. I was wrong on that one then. Fans don't own Ibrox and this board isn't going to sack Clement. What's the point in all this dreaming? No chance. Well, look, but honestly, I understand. I don't think he is going to get sacked. I think we're stuck with him to the end of the season, which is a disaster. It's a disaster. It's only going to get worse. And when we lose the next 2 Old Firm games, it's all going to go off as well. I mean, if we play Celtic and we play them like we did last night, we're going to lose 4-5 easy, absolutely easy, 100%, 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I'd love to sit here and come up with a solution, come up with a plan, come up with a way of sorting this issue out. But I don't honestly know what the answer is. I don't. I don't know what the answer is. The fans don't own iBox, but without fans, you don't have iBox. Simple. Absolutely 100% correct. This club is nothing without the fans. This club is nothing without the fans. Graham Brown says, a new manager would need one hell of amount of cash to rebuild this squad. We do not have it. Then what's the point of us moaning like what official hours until iBox is empty? Doesn't matter. Look, it is what it is. Who do you want as manager? There's no Scottish managers capable of managing Rangers, in my opinion. Look, in terms of a permanent manager, I don't know at the moment. I would have to sit down and go away and study it. I mean, it's not my job to do that. I'm not a scout. I don't know who's available, who'd be potentially there. You know, I've suggested interim managers till the end of the season. I don't think I don't think a permanent appointment is the answer. I genuinely don't. Not until the end of the season. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, that was embarrassing, Ali. 100%. Right, guys, that is it for tonight, guys. I don't know how much further we can. We're going around. We just sit here and go around in circles for another half an hour. I'm just going to pick my daughter up from dancing. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me tonight, guys. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you here. Look, whatever happens, we get behind the team on Sunday. Hopefully, we get to another final. Hopefully, we get to another final. Look, it is what it is, guys. We just need to back the players, back the team until the end of the season. Whoever the manager is. Look, I honestly now, I'll tell you this. Clement isn't going to get sacked. He's going to be here to the end of the season, whether we like it or not. We're stuck with him. And it's only going to get worse. Hey, I don't know. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. Please smash the like, smash the sub. Back again to speak to you very soon. We are the people.